Hey loves, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. My name is Tyla. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Talk with Tyy Tuesday. So today's video is all about love after trauma, and I thought that this would make a great topic because it's similar to certain things that I've been experiencing, and I've learned so much after getting into a new, healthier relationship since experiencing so much trauma. If you have experienced any form of trauma when it comes to relationships, whether that's mental abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, then you know how hard it is to get into another relationship after experiencing those things. I also did get back into therapy recently, which helped me a ton, and I did it for that sole purpose to heal my relationship trauma because I noticed that I was experiencing a lot of triggers and just a lot of things that were coming back up that reminded me of certain things I've experienced in past relationships. So for me, I struggle a lot with anxiety and PTSD, and most of my trauma comes from connections and relationships, whether that's platonic or romantic. One major thing that has really helped me is to self reflect and to make sure that I am self aware. So, a lot of the time, after experiencing certain trauma and PTSD, when you have a certain experience or scenario that comes up that triggers an old experience that you went through, it's very hard to differentiate between if that situation is actually playing over again or if you're just being triggered and it's something that feels similar but isn't necessarily a threat or harmful to you. Now, this was really difficult for me because I went through certain things that were very traumatic when it comes to certain connections. Not all of my relationships have been traumatic, but certain things that I have experienced, I noticed really put me into this mindset of not being able to trust or be open and kind of having my guard up. And although it's very challenging to overcome that trauma and PTSD and be able to be at peace in a relationship after experiencing certain things, it is definitely possible. And you are capable of doing that. So I just want to let you know that you don't have to feel like you'll never be able to trust again or open your heart up to somebody else after what you've been through. So I also do want to say that although you may have experienced those things and it may have been very traumatizing for you, you will come to a point where you will be able to be at peace within a connection and be able to let your guard down and be able to love again fully without having to feel like something is going to happen or having that anxiousness or just that dreadful feeling that kind of comes with being in a new relationship after experiencing trauma. And that's why it's so important as well to be self aware and to self reflect and take a step back in certain moments when you do feel triggered and you know certain things come up and work through those emotions and understanding why it is that you're feeling that way in this moment. Are you actually going through the same things or are you just feeling that anxiousness and that PTSD? Because sometimes you may be in scenarios and instances where these feelings come up and you're putting it onto somebody that doesn't necessarily mean you any harm and that is actually there for you and cares for you, which leads to self-sabotaging that connection. Now for me, I would say it definitely hasn't been easy. It's something that takes time, it takes patience, and it does take a lot of healing and self-reflection and inner work to overcome these types of feelings, especially if you've experienced some serious abuse. One thing that my therapist really helped me with was communication. So, a lot of the times when we do experience triggers, it's about how you handle those triggers and manage them. But after experiencing certain things, especially if you've experienced it for a long duration of time, any amount of time, but especially if you've spent years being in certain cycles and just experiencing certain abuse, it does really change you and take a toll on how you communicate, how you show up in relationships, how you react to things that happen. And so, one of the major things that I can say is to make sure that you're also working on your communication when these triggers do come up. So, I know for me personally, that looked like me blowing up, me crashing out, me reacting in a very negative way because I'm thinking that I'm experiencing the same thing that I've experienced before and feeling that pain again, like if it's happening all over again, when it's really not. But not being able to take a step back and analyze the situation fully before reacting, speaking up and expressing your feelings, how something is making you feel, as opposed to accusing somebody of something or completely lashing out on somebody for something when you may be misunderstanding the situation and scenario. It really does help when you have a partner that is really great with communication, emotionally intelligent, and is really there to help you through these things. Now, for me personally, when it comes to relationships and love, sometimes it just comes out of nowhere. You don't always plan to get in a relationship. You don't always plan to meet somebody. Sometimes these things just happen naturally. And so you may not always be in the right place. You may sometimes feel like you're healed, but then getting into a connection, you may realize that a lot of things are coming up. And that's something that I experienced because me personally, I've been on my healing journey. You guys that have been subscribed to me have known for some time that I've been overcoming my trauma, I've been healing, and I've come such a long way from where I was before. And so relationships never really been my focal point. I was not really focused on getting into a relationship. I was more so just working on my goals and my healing. So, getting into a new relationship was something that I did not plan for. And I thought at a certain point that I did overcome a lot of things, which I did. But getting into a newer, healthier relationship really brought about a lot of things that I did not know that I still needed to heal from. And personally, I am very grateful for this because even though it's difficult, even though it's draining, and even though it can be disheartening sometimes, it really does show you what it is that you need to heal. And it serves as that mirror to reflect back to you what things that you still may need to work through and overcome. And so it's easy to just take the easy way out and say, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. I have too much coming up. This is stressing me out. I'm too anxious. I do not feel good. I don't even want to deal with this right now. I'm just going to put love on the back burner and just focus on myself, which is completely okay. But it always comes to a point where you're going to have to face those things that you've experienced, those things that may still be burdening you and, just keeping you from experiencing the love that you actually deserve and desire to have. So, even aside from communication, just making sure that I'm communicating my needs, that I'm communicating my boundaries, that I'm communicating what it is that's making me feel a certain way. Make sure that you have your boundaries set, that you know your standards, that you have your boundaries, and that you know what it is that you want out of a relationship, and that you communicate that in a healthy way without accusing, without blaming, without pointing the finger, but letting that other person know just how you're feeling about something. Something else that really helped me too is changing my self concept. Now, when you experience a lot of abuse or just relationship trauma, it does change your self concept to the point where you may not feel good enough or deserving of a healthy love and relationship. You may not even feel like it's truly possible. You may feel like, I've experienced all of these. Why do I think that this can be different? Like, I'm only used to experiencing one thing. I haven't seen something other than that. And it's kind of hard to believe in something that you haven't seen or experienced. That's just how most people are. But for me, what really helped was changing that self concept and rewriting that narrative and that story that I have and those beliefs about me not being able to be in a relationship, me not being deserving of having a healthy relationship. Because that also, too, can damage and sabotage your new connection if you don't even feel like you're worthy of having this, if you don't even feel like you're deserving, or you don't believe that is something that you can actually keep up or maintain. So, affirming to yourself that I am deserving of love, I am deserving of a healthy relationship, I am able to work through my trauma, I am overcoming my trauma, I am working through the difficult things, and just having that trust and faith within yourself as well, making sure that you're pouring into yourself outside of that relationship, that you're doing things that make you feel your best, that you're doing things that keep you uplifted. Because I know for me, definitely, I used to have a big issue with codependency. And so being in a relationship in general, it just made me feel like so mentally unstable. Like I could not be in a relationship and feel mentally stable. It was a serious problem for me because of all the things that I've experienced. It just feels so off when I'm at peace in a relationship and nothing's going on. It just feels like something's gonna happen. I get that anxiety, I get that PTSD. And so, even just getting back into therapy really helped me when it came to overcoming those negative beliefs because it allowed me to be able to speak with somebody that is a professional, somebody that has experience within a long term healthy marriage, somebody that can actually show me and explain to me and express to me what it's like to be in a healthy relationship and what that takes. Because if you're used to experiencing traumatic relationships, then sometimes you don't even know when a healthy relationship is in front of you. It can be very hard to distinguish the two, and you might often kind of put those negative experiences onto that healthy partner. So, speaking with a therapist really did help me to kind of see what it takes to keep up a healthy relationship. And so, even when I was doing my sessions, I would always take notes. And when I wasn't doing my sessions throughout the week, I would just be journaling my feelings, journaling certain things that were coming up, certain things that I was feeling, and different things that I was just experiencing so that I can really pinpoint what it is that I need to work through and what it is that I need to overcome and why I'm feeling the ways that I'm feeling. And for me, it honestly felt like it was impossible for me to be in a healthy relationship because of the fact that it was so hard for me just to be mentally stable. Like, I genuinely had this belief that I will probably never be able to be in a healthy relationship again after my experiences. But I've come so far just even within these past couple of months to where I'm starting to see, okay, like I can actually overcome these things, and it's nothing that's going to stop me from experiencing the love that I really want. So I also want to give you guys that reassurance that despite your experiences, yes, it may be difficult. It's going to be difficult to work through that stuff and overcome your trauma to be able to be in a healthy relationship and be mentally stable and just continue to be happy and at peace after experiencing the things that you may have went through. But it's not impossible, and you can definitely overcome them. And don't sabotage your new connections because of the things that you've been through in the past, because there will be somebody that is genuinely going to love you, that is going to care for you, and to show you something new, and to really give you that security that you've been looking for when it comes to your relationship. So, really be patient with yourself, take your time. This is really just more so for anybody that feels like they are ready to jump back in a relationship. If your trauma is bad to the point where you know that you absolutely do not need to be in a relationship, I highly recommend taking that time to focus on yourself before getting in a relationship. But most times, everybody comes with a little something. Not everybody's going to be 100% healed, 100% perfect when getting into a relationship. So if you are genuinely ready, make sure that you are taking that time to work on yourself, that you're keeping up with your own self-care routines, that you're still focusing on your mental health, and that you're tending to yourself outside of your relationship as well as in the relationship. But if you're in the phase of your journey where you're not ready and you want to be, but you're just working on healing so that you can be ready, then definitely give yourself that time and that grace, and be patient with yourself. Do what it is that you feel may help you, whether that's getting into therapy, whether that's reading certain books. Do everything that you can to make sure that you're at a good place and that you'll be able to manage being in a healthier relationship. And another main thing as well that I want to mention when it comes to being in a relationship after experiencing trauma is that your body does not forget the things that you've experienced. So, mentally, you may feel like you can handle things, you may have a clear understanding of what's taking place, but your body will still react in a way that is like you're experiencing what you've experienced, which is PTSD. So, doing a lot of nervous system healing and rebalancing will definitely help you a lot when it comes to being in a healthy relationship after experiencing trauma. That was something that I really had to get down because when certain things would happen and it would make me feel a certain way or just bring about certain memories or just trigger me in certain ways, I would feel really anxious to where I feel like I can't breathe, where my heart is beating really fast, where I'm getting really scared and nervous because I'm thinking that I'm experiencing something that I've experienced before when in reality I'm safe. And your body doesn't always distinguish when you are in a safe environment and when you're not. So sometimes you may be in a healthy environment and a healthy situation, but be on edge and tensed up because of things that you went through in the past. So it's about really letting your body know that you are safe and that there's nothing to worry about, and doing what you can to bring your body back into balance. So for me, that's mindfulness. So I like to meditate, I like to do yoga, exercise. I try to do something that puts my body in the present, and that also releases that stress and that anxiety. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this quick Taco Tyy Tuesday. I love you guys so much, and I'm wishing all of you guys the very best on your journeys. Wherever you are in your journey, I'm wishing you the best, and you got this. You can overcome all of these things. And I say that because there's a lot of things that I thought that I could not overcome that I've overcome, and look back and it's like, wow, like I really have come so far. So really be patient with yourself, and you don't need to rush your process at all. Take your time. You know what it is that you want, you know what it is that you desire. And also use your past experiences as a roadmap. You've already been through certain things and you've had certain experiences, so you know how to point out the red flags. You know when something is genuinely a red flag and something that is just against your boundaries and what you believe in, as opposed to when you might just be feeling anxious or triggered. But I love you guys so much. I will see you guys next time. Peace out and much love.